So it's another casino. So therefore, we see that we cannot letting one is like letting all of them try. So we have to first put a stop to this, that there is no justification. They themselves have talked of, at least they have talked of relocating it out of the Mandovi. So how is it that they are talking of a new one if they are not supposed to even extend? They have only extended their licenses because they have not found an alternate site. Why are they giving license for a? Why are they contemplating a new one? As Crizel has rightly pointed out, you cannot compare one which has gone out of 70 passengers to some 2,000 passengers. You cannot compare the two. And it involves dredging, it involves so much more work. So if you are saying, if you are only even going by your logic, we are saying it should be out altogether. But even if you go by your logic, that you have to get it out of the Mandovi, then what are you doing trying to do dredging for another casino then, or for another boat and another casino? So clearly that has to be our call, and that is what. Now I just want to put this out there, that once I remember this, Patricia and some of us had gone regarding some issue regarding IFI and destruction it's causing to the environment, and at that time Mr. Parikar was the chief minister, and after it was over, I stayed on just to tell him that there is this principle of res extra commercial. That means any business which is supposed to be harmful to humanity cannot claim as of right to continue the business. Okay? So this principle has been already established in the courts. So because Parikar said to me, oh, you know what happened, the licenses are already given, so what can we do now? That is why I gave that judgment. And because he wasn't giving appointments. So this was like we had got in because of something else, and this judgment was given but never considered. But I am bringing this up because constantly they say, oh, now we've given the licenses, now what can we do? First of all, they are supposed to stop. Second, they are not obligated because this is a harmful business activity. Second is that even otherwise they are talking of not renewing licenses. They have taken policy decisions. Then if they have taken, why are they still continuing? This cannot be justified, and the principle of res extra commercial should apply. They have come out with, because we were talking about how it affects Goans, they have come up with one thing that Goans cannot enter the casinos. Now what does this mean? Who is a Goan? Let me tell you as a lawyer, who is a Goan is a long fight that goes on everywhere, whether it's in family law, whether it's in any law. There is this thing of who is a Goan is a long discussion which is not resolved. And those people sitting at the tickets and giving tickets for casinos are going to decide that. I mean, and how is it? Is it good for non-Goans and bad for Goans only? So how can you have this? And that mafiosi that casinos will create will impact us all. And we all know that. I think there will be others who will be speaking about the consequences. Thank you.
Thank you, Albertina. I know it is such a vast topic, the legal aspect, but just to give an idea, we have told the speakers to just crunch the points in limited time. Now, once the women's movement started, we realized that the government was not listening to our demands, and we needed to broad base the movement so that this issue is not about just women and children. It's not just a women's issue. Some of us told us this is a moral issue you are taking about. People should have a right to decide how they want to live. But this is not a moral issue. This is not just a moral issue. It is also affecting men, women, children, families, everybody. And so many more people joined in, and we formed a network of organizations, all the organizations that were objecting then, women's organizations, civil society organization. A broad network was called Army Aurat Against Gambling. That time AAP had not started. Huh? So it is, that was what they said, that we should include men, we should include women, everybody and take up this issue. Now, what the name was ARG, and many stalwarts were there. Today Anand Madgaonkar was there. He was very much in, he was the co-convener of ARG. I am the convener. And we have Rui Ferreira, who is also the co-convener. May I call Rui to speak? Has he arrived? Rui, yes. So I request Rui to give a gist of what ARG did.
I am as a Panjim citizen, whether you call it Panjim, Ponje, is immaterial. What is very material is to keep the river Mandovi, which I most admire, free from all illnesses and sicknesses it gives. It's immaterial of what we languages speak, whether we are called Viva Portugal. Desai was my colleague in the bank. I challenge him to weed out the Portuguese citizens actually, and who's actually there. Now, this is one lady, Iron Lady. I'm here because Sabina asked me to speak. She's one Iron Lady, true lady. I would call her the Iron Lady of Panjim because she has taken up many issues concerning women. And she met me in the year on 1st January 2009. I woke up to the news that my close friend had died of an accident. That's 17 years ago, exactly. We are 17 February, seems 17 to be a good date. So I was shocked, and when I was informed, he was coming back from a land casino, the first land casino where the amendment was carried out in Dona Paula, and there was a BMW lottery to be unveiled on 31st December, and he was that evening with us for a function. You know, suddenly he disappeared. So I was wondering where he was. He was a bachelor boy, and he had set up the sound system for that. He was expert, my close friend, expert in sound system. And I was shocked to learn that he died and a milk van killed him. That particular day I was shocked, and I was searching for some relief to get from this casino sickness and illness. And then Sabina contacted us, and today I'm glad she told me to speak. I also have Advocate Avinash Bhosle also was part of that. Where a handful of people. Anand Marandana surely. His son is here today as TTAG. I'm very glad. Vice President of TTAG. Jack Sukija, President of TTAG. Because many of my friends were in tourism trade and they asked me, what the hell are you doing? Don't you know tourism is economy and this is a mafia? Don't play with the casinos. But I carried on with a handful of people. We had Morcha where Parika joined our Morcha. And he carried that martial nuisance that day, and then took over and never stopped casinos. So I also observed in front of Panjim Church, there used to be, I get up early in the morning, cars dropping young girls, cars at that time, 2009, 2010, he kept cars dropping young girls early in the morning and late night, tinted cars, and late night taking them. Till today it continues in front of a restaurant, a veg restaurant in Panjim. There's a hotel behind, and 3 girls come and they dress up well, and big Innovas come, you can't make out from where they're coming, they get inside the car. So prostitution is going on, drug trafficking is going on. I know cases where I've seen drug trafficking in Panjim of influential politicians' sons. I've seen it in my own eyes, that's why I can talk. Drug trafficking is going on. And once I was asked to write an article in a church magazine, and I wrote the article, all the Ds, the 3 Ds, drugs, dice, and very much of all this gambling and drinks are the cause of the casinos, Panjim turning into a very dangerous city. So finally, I want to tell you, most important thing what happened. I'm happy that your press is here and you go on repeating that corporators. There is no corporators in Panjim, for God's sake. It is councillors and there is a commissioner. That was amended in 2001. Commissioner is the most important. Council only meets, and everywhere Section 214 of the Corporation of City Act got only councillor. They only can decide, they have no powers. The commissioner is the one who acts on behalf of the council. So they are councillors. We have Advocate Avinash Bhosle was a councillor also. I'm glad he is here. also along with us, and I told him be around. What is most stunning here, when we said Goans are going to get affected, there was a huge 6 crore counterfeit drafts given of a cooperative bank. See, this is the check return memo, and they just said it is not issued by us. But what is counterfeiting? Counterfeiting is making currency. Drafts are in form of currency. And so, this has happened to a Panjim citizen. See, this is 1 crore 70 lakhs. This is a draft not issued by Government Cooperative Bank, but counterfeited and submitted to the casinos to play. Total this, the bank just returned the draft saying that they do not belong, not issued by us, and they didn't file a police complaint. It is the owner of the casinos, when they gave number of drafts, total 6 crores 80 lakhs. Go on. See, this is 2 crores draft given to Goa Coastal Resorts, and when this different courts, and their banker just returned saying that they have counterfeited, the fraud, and the bank, Government Cooperative Bank, then general manager, because he was a client of the then chairman, they did not file a police complaint saying they are counterfeited. Counterfeited is a big crime. It's economic terrorism. It's a huge crime. It's like making currency, printing currency. So drafts are given, huge, total 6 crores by a Panjim citizen who was involved, and they caught another person along with him and said he was a branch manager. Unfortunately, even the judiciary doesn't help us. I filed an intervention application, getting all the drafts, copies, Xerox copies. At that time, the public prosecutor asked me, a lady also from Panjim, asked me, "Tuka kitak padla re? Doctor, tuka kitak padla te?" Then casino owners are not interested. "Tuka kitak padla te?" I was shocked, and now she is promoted, I heard. Anyway, so this is the situation. Judiciary also dismissed my application, saying in a criminal case, intervention is possible only to aid. I want to do aid and assist, because I have experience in banking also. Aid and assist the prosecution. You cannot be a part of the criminal case without being only an aid to these people. Because I told him, we shout on other terrorism, big thing of killing people. This is underground terrorism. It's a nuclear explosion. Counterfeiting of this, you have already heard, duplication of deeds and properties going. Counterfeiting of 6 crores, a Goan was arrested, and another person was arrested as a fake branch manager. Naturally, he was not a branch manager, and he was released because he was not a branch manager. Judiciary's hands are tied in this situation. They can only present what is brought before them. Fake things were done. Not proper investigation is done. This fellow was a citizen of Panjim. Then he had a shop in Panjim. He destroyed himself. He sold all his shop. He sold his house, and he's a big businessman. He was well known to me. And my intervention application was not allowed, but I thought this is a golden opportunity to bring to you that counterfeiting, economic terrorism has been brought. And these people who talk, the government, who talk so much about terrorism, they were silent about this. This is a very dangerous trend. Counterfeiting drafts, 2 crores. This gentleman bought drafts of 6 rupees from government market branch, and he has counterfeited in total 6 crores. 60 lakhs, 80 lakhs. See, this one is 60 lakhs. And they issued him tokens. This one is 60 lakhs. They issued him tokens to play. 60 lakhs, 80 lakhs, total 6 crores. A Panjim citizen lost in the casinos. And he was arrested, and he is released on bail, and nothing will happen to this situation, because I think he has sold all his assets and repaid the casinos. It's going on. But unfortunately, be alert, because somebody can tomorrow counterfeit and buy your house in Panjim. So be alert, be watchful. Whether this government, that government is immaterial. Crime is rising because of the casinos gambling. Crime is rising. So be alert, be watchful, and be aware of your rights and your fundamental rights to exist in a Panjim free of any pollution. Thank you.
Thank you, Louis. Yeah, many other issues were taken up like money laundering. We had also written to the income tax. See, every citizen, if our transaction is above 50,000, we have to show a PAN card. But here people are playing, there is money transaction, it's above 50,000, it's in lakhs and it's also in crores. But at that time, Anand Madgaonkar had raised this issue and we were pursuing that. So there are several issues. What we are doing today is just making the public aware of what is happening because of the casinos. So this was an economic fraud, and the most damaging that we can see is the silent killer destroying families. Now we know that, see, there are lots of addiction. So suppose if it is an alcohol addiction, we can make out who is an alcohol addict. He will be swaying, or he'll be singing, shouting, whatever. If it is he or she is a drug addict, again, your drooping eyes, you have telltale signs of this person is an addict. But if he is a gambling addict, you don't see this unless, of course, he has other addictions, which very often happens. And this addiction causes a lot of distress in the family. And I am just going to give you a summary of the cases that we have handled subsequent to the casinos that came in. We meaning as Bailanzo Sad. So I'll just put down the points hastily. We were organizing, so I was not able to kind of, do one visually, like normally teachers like to do good presentation, but I just thought I'll put the points down. The first complaint of casinos came to us because of children, okay? And because of children, this issue came up. How it impacted children is because when bouncers reached home of some businessmen from Margaon, they were cloth merchants, and they were in debt. And because they did not pay, the bouncers came home, they threatened the wife. The men were not at home, they threatened the wife, the child, and so they were very upset that their family was affected, and that's why they approached Bailanzo Sad, and they wanted to have a press conference. And there was another gentleman also who had a problem in Panjim, and he said, we are going to have a press conference, let us make people aware. And it was they came from all three different religions, and see, we didn't want to take names, so we called them Amar Akbar Anthony. And we said we'll have this press conference, but last minute they said if we come out in public, we will be shamed. So that press conference didn't happen. But this issue of the bouncers, this is taking law and order in their hand, was taken up. Then another, this casino addiction really causes a lot of pain and heartbreak, those cases when they come to us. I was in Delhi, I get a call from my former student. He was just married, had a baby. 3 o'clock in the night, she calls me and says, Miss, my husband has not come home. He was supposed to bring milk. My baby is crying. Baby is parched. I'm putting water in the feeder bottle and feeding the baby. Please do something. And for us, it's also like when women they deliver, they have postpartum depression. So here you had your own state of postpartum depression. Then you have the child, baby, not getting milk. And it is such a, we felt so helpless. The only thing that we could offer was, counseling and for her to stay normal, to look after the child. Then there was, the other thing was, men, they go out, they gamble. I'm giving examples of men because women have come to us in these cases. In the earlier case, it was men who had come to us. And they come home late. They bang the door, they...
Can you share tell us the action? We are not interested in this talk. What is the action?
Yeah.
Come on the topic.
Yeah, so we are not telling history, we are telling you the impact of casinos on family. Not moralistic.
How we are going to take off the casino? How we are going to give a fight for that?
Now we want them out.
Yes.
Okay.
That is the dignity.
Yeah, why we are telling you, I'll just give you the logic, is because many times when we go to the MLAs and we go represent, they said, no, it will affect trade and business. So we want to tell the government that it affects families, and that is why we were giving facts and figures. So it's fine.
Everything is
Let her speak, please.
Let us speak. Let us speak, please.
Okay, let's not get into an argument. I'll just... okay, fine. It's okay. Let's not get into an argument. I'll cut short. I just wanted to show the violence that happens as far as children, as far as women, how they are in debt, how women have power of attorneys have been taken from women, they have been made to sell their property, and that is an angle we want to highlight, that it is not just trade and business which is affected. These are the people. When you take decision on casinos, you also have to consider the impact on the social aspect. Okay, so I'll cut short over here. I'm not going to go through all the cases because in fact I've not put all, but I just wanted to say that crime increases, trafficking increases, there are escort girls that are happening, there's soliciting that is happening, there is drug related, there is sexual abuse inside the casinos. There are a whole lot of cases which are coming to us as a women's organization. It is not a moral issue, it is crime related, and this is where the law and order is going for a toss. Okay, the sexual harassment. In fact, on the road I was harassed. Somebody was stalking me just outside the casino. So I just wanted to tell what is happening to the city. Okay, so I'll stop here, and we also would like to give a gist of what is happening because of Mandovis to the rivers. I request Elsa to give, because it's social impact, economic impact. Advocate Ring has said social impact. I just summarized environmental impact. Elsa is going to give, and then we will have a discussion on the call for action.
Thank you, Sabina. Please ask everybody to keep
Pardon?
the phone on mute.
There is a quick fix right now. We'll vote for it.
There's a
Silence of phone. Make an announcement.
yeah. We had announced earlier, but a lot of people have come in later. So please switch off your phones or put it on silent because it disturbs the presentation. So after the river pollution, then we will discuss plan of action.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Elsa.
Environmental architect. Sorry, I'm not introducing properly.
Before I can put a few thoughts in your head, let me just say that I'm not going to give you answers, but I'm surely going to give you questions. One. Second, environmental sensitive planning cannot be firefighting. It has to be in advance. It has to be a foresee that we have, that we should have. We cannot wait for something to go wrong and then decide, oh, now it is indicating that the carrying capacity is reached. Now let's stop it or let's reverse it. Environmental sensitivity is a completely different aspect. And we all have it. We all have the understanding of it also. It's only merely that we need to be sensitive about it. So, first few slides are actually the background of the city. And I've called it Mandovi of Panjim because Mandovi is otherwise a colossal river. Yeah, can we go next? So when we say city, it actually is an agglomeration of multiple other administrative areas, and the city grows along with it, and therefore the impacts also are multiple. Next. The river, the Mandovi, is a huge asset of the city, or you can say it the other way around. Yeah. Now, if the river is an asset of the city and the city is an asset of the river, then they have to live together. One cannot live on the corpse of the other. We have to live together. And to live together, as I mentioned to you, environmental sensitive planning requires a little bit of advanced analysis. And there are so many frameworks which can give us that analysis. And I'll not get into this. There are so many frameworks which can understand what are shocks and stresses of the city. Next. And we know what is environment, we know what is economy, and we also know what is social issues. And the city grows faster than any other village. The city is an asset of any country. The city is supposed to grow faster. And all the wealth of the country concentrates in the city. All the more reason why the environmental aspects cannot be ignored. Next, please. So, the Mandovi Basin is 1580 square kilometers. It exits at Panaji. The mouth of that extent of basin exits at Panaji. And if you see, there is a very, very narrow point here. The whole basin exits at. So because of the push of that runoff, because of the push, that narrow exit has created an opening into the river, which has pushed. You can imagine this historically happening with the landmass, okay? And then it releases. It releases into the sea. And if you see, there are sand accretion happening here, sand accretion happening here, minor sand accretion happening here. We know sand accretion as our beaches. If sand accretion happened over a number of years, there will be an erosion also possible if that narrow stretch is dredged. Dredging is like creating craters into the ground. What we can see as a landslide is exactly what happens under the water. It's almost like a landslide. Yeah, go next. So the city has 17 running kilometers of coastal line. 17. That's a huge, and waterfront cities are a gift of nature. Waterfront city, a 17-kilometer stretch of waterfront can be a gift to any city, especially a capital city. It can be the point of economy. It can be a point of symbiosis between the city and the river. A few background about the jurisdiction, because there is sometimes a confusion who owns that area of water. So we have something called as the captain of ports, and there are gazettes which state that Mandovi is under that jurisdiction. Next, please. If you are aware about the coastal regulation zone, coastal regulation declared the water areas into two zones, 4A and 4B. The Mandovi, which is the dark blue, 4B, the dark blue, that's the sea. 4A, Mandovi, 4B. It is covered under the CRZ of Goa 2011. And next please. And the notification says, and I've brought you an extract, it says that 4B includes the tidal influence water bodies, and then the norms for regulation states that on the sea and the tidal influence water body, the regulation will be for this: sewage, effluents, ballast water, sheep washes, etc., etc. And there will be a comprehensive plan for treatment. The CRZ said that. The CRZ 2011 said there should be a comprehensive plan for the river. And it even gave a timeline within a period of 1 year. It gave a timeline. I do not know if any of Ponjakar knows whether there has been a comprehensive plan made out. But surely, for the CRZ 2011, there was a CZMP made out. That CZMP got approved in 2022. If the comprehensive plan is a subset of the CZMP, then after 2022, it should have been generated. But I can't remember of any comprehensive plan coming up for the river, for the Mandovi specifically, after 2022. Next, please. Now these are indicators, and so many of us speakers here have given you so many indicators. One indicator, this is a groundwater information booklet for north of Goa. It says the groundwater is contaminated with sewage pollutants. Next. There is another research which says there is a lot of microplastics in Mandovi. And remember, microplastics can be dangerous. We can't be waiting for the death numbers to come on our table and then deciding that microplastics are bad for us. And likewise, there can be so many more impacts. Some of these we already see. Sewage, already we have indicators. Salinity ingress, already the groundwater table is mentioning it. Beach erosion accretion, there are issues, there are case studies of Mormugao area where dredging has happened and the beach is kind of eroding in the neighboring areas. Microplastic is already part of many research. Visual stress, I don't know if so many of you feel this. You want to look at the river with its peacefulness. Now I was just conversing with a friend of mine. There would be children sitting on the bank of the river and singing songs. There would be poetry making, there would be artistic. But will that happen now? So there will be so many things that may just escape our scape of understanding what that river means to Ponje. So there is ecological loss, there is economic loss. Panjim is listed as one of the fishing livelihood areas. Yeah? Next please, last one. These are the authorities with whom we have to seek some responsible actions. The COP, because it's under this jurisdiction, it's jurisdiction of court. The GCZMA, because the environmental management is under that jurisdiction. The Pollution Control Board, because to keep a check, a monitoring on the Mandovi as water, and with Water Act and whatever Environment Protection Act. The CCP, because that's the local administration. And the tourism, because that's the economy which is being bargained for. I leave you with those thoughts. And I only want to make one last submission, that if Mandovi is an asset of the city, the governance of that cannot be that we put that asset on rent. Ami amchi Korea, rent that's a poor man's mentality. He denies it for his own house children, his house members, and he puts it on rent. City cannot be a poor man's mentality for governance. Thank you.
Thank you, Elsa, for that enlightening presentation. Elsa spoke about the impact on the city, There are villages also on the banks of the river, and Harish Madkaikar was supposed to come and speak and talk how his village is getting affected, how his fishing livelihood is getting affected. But there is an emergency right now, dredging is happening and they are busy over there. So he said, we will plan an action. They are all there with us. So his presentation, when we have the protest next, we will have it. We move next. Now, see, sharing of information is important. So we take an informed decision when we plan our action. So, is Swapnish here? Yes. Yeah. So, Swapnish has done whatever documentation and information is with him. We are just collecting information. We have to process it and we will put forward his views. Swapnish is an engineer and you know he is an activist. He gives all the information and analyzes it.
नमस्कार तुमकां सगळ्यांक. हांगासर कोण एकटो मनीस किंवा ग्रुप ऑफ मनीस किंवा आनीक कोण जेंकां दिसता कॅसिनो प्रॉब्लम न्हू म्हणून गोंयांत हात वयर काडचे. बरें, दुसरे तरेन विचारया, कॅसिनो गोंयाक प्रॉब्लम म्हणून दिसता पळय तेंच्यांनी हात वयर काडचे. It's casino problem, that is the question.
Yeah, both the hands.
So हांगासर आनी कशे प्रॉब्लेम्स ते वेगळ्या वेगळ्या तरेन सांगपाची गरज आसा तुमकां खबर आहा न्हू. तरी आसतना एल्सा मॅडमीन बरे तरेन सांगले ते एंगल आमच्या खुबश्या लोकांक खबर नासता. असले तुमकां खबर?
इवन सबिनान सांगितले खबर नाशिल्ले आमकां. सिरियस प्रॉब्लेम.
बरें, सबिना मॅडमीन सांगले ते आमकां खबर नासलेले. एक्सेप्टेड. सगळ्यांची नाव घेना आता. ही सद्याक अवेअरनेस मिटींग. आयज आमी हांगासर येवन आमकां खूब कितें कळ्ळें की कॅसिनो गोंयांत पावले कशे, सद्याक तेंचे कशें कितें चल्लां ते आनी तेंचो फुडार कितें तो आतां ठरोवपाक लागून आमी हांगासर येयला. सो अवेअरनेस तुमकां मेळ्ळली आसा. फुडें कशें कितें वचपाचें तितूंतल्यान सगळ्यांक तुमचो हातभार लागतलो. पूण आमी पयलीं समजोन घेवया की फुडें कशें कितें चल्लां आनी सद्याक तेंची कशी परिस्थिती आहा ती. सुरवातीक एक बोट म्हणून भितर येयली. तेज्या पयलीं जमनीचेर हॉटेलांनी 5 स्टार हॉटेलांनी बीन कॅसिनो चलताले. पूण सगळ्यांत पयली प्रश्न हे जुगाराचे अड्डे, कॅसिनोज म्हटले जुगाराचे अड्डे न्हू, जुगार खेळप आनी ते बीन एज अ प्रोफेशन, वेवसाय कसो जुगार खेळप. आमी पयलीं अशे सणा परबेक बीन केन्ना जात्र्यांक बित्र्यांक आसताले आमचे ना न्हू, पटार बिटार म्हणून आमच्या जात्रांक काल्यांक बीन आसतात ते. पूण ते काले जात्रे वर्सभर चलना आनी थंयसरूच येवन पुलीस आडयताले. आयच्या दिसाक सुद्दां मोडको घेवप. फाटल्या दिसांनी आनी ते हावजी खेळटाले म्हणून तांकां धरून येले खंय. तेन्ना म्हाका एक असो प्रश्न पडलो की हीच हावजी जर कॅसिनोन खेळ्ळी जाल्यार लीगल? हे आमचे जे मोडको घेतात ते कॅसिनोन बसून घेतले जाल्यार लीगल सर? म्हटले श्रीमंतांक तांकां जुगार खेळटले जाल्यार कायदो वेगळो आनी गरिबांक तोच जर स्मॉल म्हटल्यार धाकट्या प्रमाणात जर जुगार खेळटले जाल्यार इल्लीगल. जुगाराचो सपोर्ट करना हांव हांगासर, पूण हांव कशी कायदे लॉ बदलता. पयसो आसा जाल्यार एक कायदो, पयसो ना जाल्यार वेगळो कायदो. आमची सद्याची परिस्थिती अशी पावलेली आहा की पयलीं कॅसिनोज आमकां रेव्हेन्यू जाय आसलेले म्हणून हाडले. फॉर दॅट मॅटर टुरिजमूय आमकां रेव्हेन्यू जाय म्हणून हाडला. एल्सा मॅडमीन एक बरो उल्लेख केलो. आमी मातशें न्हू आमचें टुरिजम सद्याक मॉडल जो आसा पळय तो श्रिंक करया. आमी एक हावज होल्ड धरया. आमच्या घरांत जर 4 फॅमिली मेंबर आहा आनी हे हावज होल्ड बरे भशेन चलपाक जाय. ते 4 फॅमिली मेंबराचे बेजीक निड्स, वेलफेअर सगळे जर जावपाक जाय बरे भशेन जाल्यार आमी टुरिजम एज अ सोल मॉडेल घेवया. ते 4 लोकांचे फॅमिली पळोवपाक लागून आमकां कितले टुरिस्ट जाय? 4 लोकांक 4 टुरिस्ट येयले तेंच्या घरान, जाल्यार घर बरे भाशेन चलतले? डाउटफुल. 4चे 8 येयले, एक लेवल पावतली. सो वॉट इज द रेशियो? 1:2. 12 येयले, 1:3 धरया. आमी एक कम्फर्टेबल लेवलाचेर पावले. 1:4 धरया. चल, आमकां श्रीमंत जावपाचें आहा म्हणून. म्हटल्यार एका मनशाक पोसपाक, तेजे वेलफेअर पळोवपाक, एका मनशाक लागून 4 सयरे म्हटल्यार टुरिस्ट हाडले आमी. ते जे खर्च करतले तितून आमचें घर चलतलें, आमचे सगळे रिक्वायरमेंट्स पूर्ण जातले आनी आमकां थोडे कम्फर्टूय मेळटले, लक्झरी मेळटले. सो 1:4 इज अ गुड नंबर, नो गुड रेशियो. टुरिजमान फाटल्या दिसांनी आंकडो काडला, गोंयांत खंय 1 कोटी वयर टुरिस्ट येयले. गोंयचें पॉप्युलेशन कितलें आहा? आता हो रेशियो जर आमी धरलो जाल्यार टुरिजम फक्त एक सिंगल मॉडेल धरलो, बाकी आमचे आता मायनिंगूय चल्ला, इंडस्ट्री आहा आणि खूपशे रेव्हेन्यू मॉडेल्स आहा. मागीर सद्याक आमकां गोंयाक रेव्हेन्यू जाय कितलो, गोंयकारांक कितलो जाय, स्टेट चलपाक कितलो जाय आनी तुमी करतात कितें, कसलो प्लॅनिंग चल्ला, हो प्रश्न कोण विचारता आयच्या दिसाक? हो प्रश्न आमी कित्याक विचारूंक पावना तेजे रिजन सांगता. कित्याक बजेटिंग करपाचो आमकां संवय ना. आमी केन्ना घरानूच बजेटिंग करूंक ना. केला? हो बेसिक फंडामेंटल कॉन्सेप्ट जेन्ना आमी समजतले एज एन इंडिव्हिज्युअल, तेन्ना मागीर आमी सरकाराक विचारूंक पावतले. आयच्या दिसाक थंयसर ते मंत्री बिंत्री बसला, तेंच्यांनी तरी बजेटिंग केला आसतलें आपले केन्ना? असल्या लोकांक आमी निवडून हाडून थंय बसयला. इतले डिपार्टमेंट इन्वॉल्ड आसा. ती एक कॅसिनोक परमिशन मेळपाक, रायट फ्रॉम CCP टील GCZMA आनी गव्हर्नमेंट अप्रुवल जायत पडटा. तेंच्यांनी कॅसिनो लॉबीन सद्याक ऑपरेट करताले ते आता ते कॅपॅसिटी एनहान्समेंटाक वयता, वाडोवपाक सोदता. पणजेच्या परिस्थितीन आनी इमिजिएट कॉज ह्या मिटिंगेचे म्हटल्यार ते 112 मिटराची आता नवीन बोट येवपाची आहा. आमकां कोणाकूच कॉमन सेन्स ना म्हटल्यार तो कोंकणीन सिंपल भाशेन विचारपाचें जाल्यार अक्कल नाशें दिसता. आमी सगळेच गोंयकार अक्कल शुन्यशे दिसता, हांकां मूर्ख कशे. तुमी ती धाकटी बोट काडटा आनी येदी व्हडली बोट घालता आनी रिप्लेसमेंट म्हणून आमकां सांगता आनी आमी मान्य करपाचे. म्हटल्यार इतले सारखे मूर्ख समजता आमकां. पूण हे तेंकां लज न्हू, ही आमकां लज. कित्याक तर आमी मूर्ख न्हू म्हणून तेंकां परत केन्नाच सांगना. आमी सांगला हेजे फुडें तरी सांगतले म्हणून आशा धरया. आता कशें सांगतलो हो एक प्रश्न आहा. तुमच्या सगळ्यांचे इनपुट्स वेलकम आहा. आमकां फक्त तेंकां आतां सांगपाक जाय की आमी मूर्ख न्हू. कॅसिनोचो आनी एक बारीकसो जस्ट 1 मिनिट बारीकसो एक एक्झाम्पल सांगता. कॅपॅसिटी एनहान्समेंट ह्या लॉबीची फक्त पणजे पुरती मर्यादित ना, ते प्रत्येक गांवांत पावपाक लागला. आनी ह्या खऱ्यांनीच रिस्क आहा. आमी मोरजे गांवांत येतालो कॅसिनो गोल्डन ग्लोब म्हणून, तेंकां थंयसर कोर्टान येल्लेले आहा. बांबोळे येता, थंयसर बोवाळ चल्लेलो आहा. आतां हे गांवांनी वचपाक सोदता. गोंयांत आयच्या दिसाक हावडी लिगल ना, मडको लिगल ना, पूण हे जे जुगाराचे अड्डे गांवांत येवपाक सोदता, तेजो फायदो कोणाक जाता आनी कसो जाता हे विचारपाचो वेळ येयल्लो आहा. हांव बेस्ट तुमकां एक सजेशन दिता, कशें कितें करूं शकतले, एक्झिक्यूट करपाक मेळटले ते पळया. प्रत्येक म्युनिसिपालिटी, प्रत्येक पंचायतीन प्रत्येक म्हयन्याक एक रेजोल्युशन घेवपाचें आमकां गोंयांत कॅसिनोज नाका म्हणून. जावनी बल्क रेजोल्युशन ग्रामसभेक रेजोल्युशन घेवया, प्रत्येक ग्रामसभेक घेवया, कन्सिस्टंटली घेवया. कन्सिस्टन्सी इज द की. आमी फक्त एक आता तुम्ही सारखे एनर्जेटिक आहा, मिटिंग कॉलअप केला, लोकांनी बरें भाशण दिले, तुम्ही एनर्जाइज झाले. आयज गेले तर बंद करूया म्हटले, तेंच्यांनी बंदूय केले. फाल्यां सकाळी परत चालू केले, हे लोक परत दिसचे ना न्हू. थंय कन्सिस्टन्सी ना आमच्या मदीं. कन्सिस्टन्सी जाय, पेशन्स जाय. रिझल्ट अचीव करतले म्हणून डिटर्मिनेशन जाय. जे आमच्या मध्ये कमी पडला किंवा फाटल्यान पडला ते परत फुडें हाडया. कन्सिस्टंटली आमी फायट दीत रावया. कित्याक आमी फर्स्ट अटेम्प्टान 10वी पास करूंक ना आसलेली किंवा आमी जे अचीव केला पळय ते फर्स्ट अटेम्प्टान करूंक ना. बेस्ट एक्झाम्पल, आमी जर आयज ड्रायव्हिंग जाणा जाल्यार आमी सायकल घेवन पडलेले आहात. पहिल्यांदा पडलेले म्हणून आयज आमी गाडी चलोवचे आसलेले तर थंयच रावलेले आल्या. कन्सिस्टंटली आमकां हेंच्या फाटल्यान लागचे पडटले आनी आमी लागतले ह्या आशा धरता. लागतले करया. देव बरें करूं.
देव बरें करूं स्वप्नेश. आता कॉल फॉर ऍक्शन आम्ही म्हणलं अवेअरनेस मीटिंग ऑन कझिनोज अँड वे फॉरवर्ड. खूपशे इन्फॉर्मेशन आसा आमचे फायलीन आसा पण आमकां टायम मेळूना. स्वप्नेश वॉज सपोज टू प्रेझेंट सम फॅक्ट्स अँड फिगर्स पण नेक्स्ट मीटिंग आम्ही एक स्टडी प्रेझेंटेशन करतली. सो सध्या आम्ही इमिजिएट नीड इज हाऊ डू वी स्टॉप द कझिनोज. वन, the big one which is coming in. Two, what are already existing in the river, and of course the overall casino policy. So the short term म्हणजे immediate action आमकां करपाक जाय. आमकां दोन सजेशन दिला. एक म्हणटा की एक लीगल ऑप्शन की आमी कोर्टान या आनी ते ऑफशोर कझिनोचे ऑफशोर मीन्स 12 नॉटिकल मायल्स ताका चॅलेंज दिया, ताका भायर घालया. आमी आनी बाकीचे बी आसा. आनी दुसरें म्हणजे की social action on the street. People's power will stop the casinos. So these are the two options which are there before us. Just giving you briefly some brief information. एक कोर्ट केस अजून पासून चालू हा जी 2016 पासून असा. डॉक्टर ॲक्वाविवा त्यांनी हायकोर्टान चॅलेंज केल्ले की वो ऑफशोर डेफिनेशन कितें ते. सो ती केस चालू आसा आनी मागीर एक ऍप्लिकेशन ते ऍप्लिकेशन खूबशे मिसलेनियस ऍप्लिकेशन हा. आनी दुसरे सुदीप तामणकर हाणें एक कोर्टान चॅलेंज दिल्ले जो रिप्लेसमेंट वेसल आहा जो स्मॉल धाकटो आसलो ताका आमी 6 टायम मोर अशे रिप्लेसमेंट वेसल येता. ती केस हायकोर्टान आसा. सो तेजी एक कितें आमकां लिगल पाथ तर घेवपाक जाय जाल्यार आमकां एक केसीस खंयचे आहा ते मातशे एक अंडरस्टँडींग आसपाक जाय. सामके शॉर्ट हितून आमकां तामणकर बाब सांगता नाका मागीर. ओके फायन. सो ही दोन केसीस सद्याक चालू आसा. सो नाव लेट अस टॉक अबाउट वे फॉरवर्ड अँड ऍक्शन ऑन द स्ट्रीट. सो तुमकां आमचे कांय सजेशन्स आसा पूण आमी ऑडियन्सा कडेन विचारता तुमची कितें सजेशन आहा. आमी कशें फुडें सरूया हे कझिनो बद्दल. ओके मे बी 1 or 2 we can give. खूप सजेशन येयले जाल्यार आमी सजेशन बॉक्सान घालून जाता न्ही.
Slips are going on. I will take time.
Okay. Yeah. Anybody wants to suggest? Okay. आता आमी जे आता जे आमचे ग्रुपांनी जे डिस्कस जाता व्हॉट्सॲप ग्रुपांनी डिस्कस जाता तातूंतल्यान आमी एक सजेशन आयले की आमी आता एक आता स्वप्नेशान सजेशन दिला आमी सगळे कडेन रेझोल्यूशन पास करूया दॅट वी डोंट वॉन्ट कझिनोज. दुसरें आमी सिग्नेचर कॅम्पेन स्टार्ट करतली सगळे कडेन की लोकांक जागृत करपाक. कित्याक आमकां खूब लोक रस्त्यार येवपाक जाय आनी सरकाराक सांगपाक जाय की आमकां कझिनो नाका. सो ताका लागून आमी एक सिग्नेचर कॅम्पेन करतली. आमचे रेझोल्यूशन आसा आनी immediate thing is how do we stop that big boat from coming. आमचे न्योराचे लोक रेज मागोसचे लोक सांगताले की आमी फिशरमॅन येवपाक रेडी आसा. बोटी तर आमकां घालचे पडले जाल्यार आमी वयतले. कोणे सांगले आय विल स्विम बिफोर द रिवर. वी हॅव लॉट्स ऑफ सजेशन्स कमिंग हाऊ वी विल फिजिकली स्टॉप द बिग बोट कमिंग इन. Okay, सो येस सजेशन्स आयला ते आमी इम्प्लिमेंट करपाक जाय. हांव पॅट्रिशियाक आमी सगळे संघटनांक उलो मारला जे पयलीं काम करताले कझिनोचे, पण आतां हालीं खुबशे संघटना नवे तयार जाला. सगळ्यांक आमी उलो मारता, आमी सगळीं एकठांय येवया आनी हो कझिनोचो लढो मोठो लढो जावन दी आनी कझिनो वी शूड फायनली पुश इट आउट. ओके, हांव I let Patricia talk about the resolution and any other suggestion, then we'll take a collective decision and go ahead.
I think I'm one of the last speakers to sort of wrap it up. But there are slips which will go around for your suggestions, because if we have each one talking, then we'll get, it will go on and on. It's almost 7 o'clock and we don't want to delay people. So this was more of an awareness campaign, and we need this awareness too, because we are on the ground trying to take action. We are visiting every office, we are going everywhere. But if we do not have information, like Albertina has told us so much about the law, Sabina has told us what happens, someone has spoken about fraud, we know, and Swapnish has told us, and Elsa has explained to us everything. So we know why we don't want casinos. It's not saying that, oh, the shopkeepers want casinos, so let's have them. Why casinos should not come, we should know this, and that is why we had the awareness campaign. So the awareness campaign is for us and for those who don't know. Some who know probably do not want this information, but most of us don't know. So let us pay a little attention to gather what we don't know. Now, as Elsa said, there are a lot of authorities to go to. We did do that, and that is the action part that we have been taking. First, we decided, let's go to the CCP. They are the immediate representatives that we have. A CCP is responsible to the city and the citizens. So we started, it's a bottom-top approach. And that's how we went about the whole issue of casinos. Now, we got some replies back, back to us when we went there. So I just want to explain a few things. I'm not going to be very long. I said I'll write it down because otherwise I'll go all around the place. If peace, safety and health of the people of Panjim are adversely affected by the casinos in the river with regard to traffic congestion, stench emanating from the river, loud music, social impacts, etc., and the corporation washes its hands off with the excuse of jurisdiction, the river does not come under us, you all can suffer. Who do people turn to for relief? Isn't it the duty of the corporation, as a people's representative, to take this issue of its people and its city with the government authorities to resolve the matter? You just can't stay out of it saying, that's the river, we only see to the city, and what's happening in the city is a different thing. Now, if that be the case, and if the river is out of its jurisdiction, then why is the CCP collecting waste from the casinos, which is outside its jurisdiction? Has the CCP started a new business, a waste collection agency? I'll give you one example. Only one casino I'm going to talk about. There are 6, but it will take too long, so I'm talking about one. MV Royal Flotel. Maybe you can put the picture up to know which is the boat. It receives consent to operate from the Goa Pollution Control Board. Only then it can operate. It receives consent to operate till 2031. Remember, government has, they give it 10 years at a time or whatever, I don't know what's their process, but government has renewed the license up to March 27. but they've got consent to operate till 2031. Now, I was looking at the content, the details of that application from which they got consent to operate. The details show how much of biodegradable waste, that is wet waste, is going to be generated by that casino. And here it shows that 150 kgs a day, which will be 4,500 kgs per month, that is 4.5 tons. It's going to generate. The figures that they give, we know, are all fudged. It's really all fudged. I even put it to AI and they said, this looks like cut and paste. I'm not so good at AI, but I asked my son to do it. So this looks like a cut and paste job. Now, they can give 4,500 kgs per month. Now they give details, I'm only giving you 1 month, the month of January 2025. Now this is the details submitted by the casino. Waste sent to the CCP 850 kilos only in that month, okay? Then we get details from the CCP. The waste that landed was 39,980 kilos. Who are they trying to fool that they're just giving 850 kgs a month? What comes to CCP is almost 40,000 kilos. That means if the Pollution Control Board allows them 4.5 tons per month, CCP is receiving 40 tons per month, and the mayor is not concerned. And what is the Pollution Control Board doing? This is their consent to operate. Aren't they checking what is happening? No. Now, we were told, it's coming in the press every time, these Punjekar against casinos, they are only doing this as an election stunt, okay? Now, Crizel explained to you how our movement started after seeing the work starting on the river. The matter regarding changing the definition of offshore bill, whatever it is, was filed in the High Court and it's pending since 2016. I don't think it had anything to do with elections. Mr. Tamankar spoke. I mean, he filed a petition at the NGT, and in fact, most of the details we get from his records under Right to Information Act. I don't think it was an election stunt that time when he went. The mayor of the corporation states that the river does not come under his jurisdiction. So how come the issue not to allow the new casino in the river has anything to do with the corporation elections? They got nothing to do with the river. So how does it have anything to do with the elections? The government of Goa has extended the license period of the casinos to 31st March 27. We'll carry on our fight. It's not going to stop. It's not a one-day fight. If it is not resolved now, it will continue till 2027. Will it again be called an election stunt before the 2027 assembly elections? Of course, at that time, there will be a string of promises, as has happened before, like the promise to shift the casino in 4 years, another promise to shift the casino in 100 days, and we believe them, and that could surely be called an election stunt, not what we are doing now. We want a safe, peaceful and healthy city for all the residents. I just want to come, since Elsa spoke about all the departments involved, as far as GCZMA is concerned, they have given environment clearance to the new boat. That's what we heard. But we are not taking that. We have asked questions under the right to information. Because I always believe that when you give information forward, it should be correct information. So when that comes, we want to inspect the file and we want to also see the expert members' remarks on that file if they have agreed that that boat should come into the river. We heard they were not too happy, but we asked for inspection of the file. We will come back to you all in another meeting. Now, when we're talking about tourism, the other day I went to visit the tourism department. There's a nice, all big letters there, regenerative tourism, wonderful. Their vision is to make Goa a world-class destination by 2030. Few years left, you're going to have world-class destination. Before we spoke about sustainable tourism. What is the meaning of that? It's reducing harm to the environment. Okay, so we were trying to reduce. Today, we've got regenerative tourism, which means improving the destination, the environment, and the culture. You know, the Race Margus speaker couldn't come here. So, he was very, very worried because when they go to remove Tisrios, they know what is happening in that village. And even this dredging is affecting the Tisrios. And I hope I won't take too much time. I love telling stories. It's a small story. My children wanted Tisrios for Christmas because I make a very good preparation of Tisrios. Not suke, something else. So I said, don't worry. I'll ask a fisherman who comes to the door to get me Tisrios. This was on the 24th of December last year. So when the fisherman came, he said, sorry madam, all the Tisrios are stinking. I said, why? He says they come from Reish Margush, but because of the pollution in the water, they're stinking and I don't want to give you the Tisrios. So I thought maybe, you know, he doesn't want me to go to the market and see the better Tisrios. So he's giving me an excuse. So I walked to the market and when I went there on 24th December, there were no Tisrios in the market. And I asked the fisherwomen, why are there no Tisrios in the market? By Vasyata. All the Tisrios are smelling because the river is so bad. Now, I don't know how the Pollution Control Board is monitoring this or whatever. But that's the actual situation of our fish. We are not going to improve our environment. In fact, we are going to kill everybody with that rotten fish that is coming. Sabina also got fish that day where the gills were smelling very badly. Now, we are going to pass a resolution. We want you all to pass this resolution after this one's written. Okay. Before the resolution, I want to tell you all that we approached Chief Justice, retired Justice Ferdinand Rebello, and we said, one of your demands was to get rid of the casinos. We are fighting the casinos. Please help us. Today afternoon, I received a letter from Justice Ferdinand Rebello, and I would love to read it to you. It's 2 pages, but just have a little patience and listen. This letter is today's. It's written to 3 of us who were representing Ponjekars against casinos. Many are representing. Sabina also is there, but we had put 3 names initially. Patricia Pinto, Crizel Dias, and Valmiki Naik. Not as our pleader, as a resident of Panjim. For us, there's no politics in the casino issue. So this letter was addressed by 3 of us to Justice Ferdinand Rebello. Similarly, 3 of us had addressed a letter to the mayor of Panjim. And you know what he says? What are those 3? Do they think they represent Panjim? I represent some 22,000 people. Who do they represent? And he didn't bother about our letter. So I'm just telling you, the mayor didn't bother about the 3 of us representing Ponjekars against casino. But I'm so glad the Chief Justice of the High Court of Allahabad, retired Justice Ferdinand Rebello, respected us and he sent us this letter. Thank you all for the letter dated 12th February 2026, seeking my support to oppose bringing into the river a vessel 112 meter long and 27 meter high and having capacity to accommodate 2,000 persons. This vessel, as I understand, is to replace a vessel of the same company having a capacity of 300. These figures keep changing because we don't know exactly what it is. In the right to information, they didn't mention the capacity of this particular boat. But this is what we get from others. So having a capacity of 300 persons under the same license. This one casino, if allowed, would have more persons on board than all the existing 6 casinos. The opposition by the people of Panaji and surrounding areas is moral, just, and to protect the environment, which is the fundamental duty of every citizen, and to protect all our children from the adverse effects of gambling, which the government itself recognizes as a sin industry. No person has a fundamental right to carry trade or commerce in gambling in law. In law, it is described as a trade which is res extra commercium, that's what she told us, and is purely at the discretion of the government, which discretion can be withdrawn any time. Successive governments have unfortunately turned our capital Panjim into a casino capital of India, which has affected everyone living along the banks of the river Mandovi and beyond. The mooring of 6 vessels in the river Mandovi has affected its ecology and environment. Under the provisions of the Indian Ports Act 1925, every port has to have port-based reception and handling plans for port waste. I understand that till date, no such plans have been finalized. Under the provisions of the Inland Vessels Act 21, every vessel, including existing vessels entering a port, has to discharge its garbage at shore reception facilities and have to meet the standards set out in the Inland Vessels Prevention Containment of Pollution Rules 2022. The government and the MLAs of Panjim and other constituencies on the banks of the Mandovi must inform the people as to whether these vessels are compliant and whether the government has appointed a conservator under the Indian Ports Act 2025. The problem started in 1992 when for the first time the government introduced Section 13A of the Goa Public Gambling Act, by which section the government may authorize any game of electronic amusement / slot machines in 5-star hotels. This position continues till date. In other words, in 5-star hotels, what can be done is any game of electronic amusement and slot machines. Governments have come to power promising the people to remove the casinos from the river Mandovi. Not only did the governments of the day renege on their promise, but legalized their continuance in the river Mandovi. In 1996, the government of that day amended Section 13A and for the first time permitted and such table games and gaming on board in vessels offshore as may be notified. The government must produce the notification as to which table games and gaming they have allowed as gaming is not there in Section 13B. Successive MLAs of Panaji and surrounding areas are parties to bring about this amendment. Inland vessel under the Inland Vessel Act 2021 has to be a vessel used for transportation, storing or accommodation, within or through inland waters and plying in inland waters. The casino vessels which are moored in the Mandovi are neither used for transportation, storage or accommodation within and through inland waters, nor do they ply in the inland waters. The government must explain to the people as to how the casino vessels fall within this description. Under section 13A of the Goa Public Gambling Act, table games and gaming are allowed on board in vessels offshore. This is repealed in para 2 of the notification dated 9th November 1995, repeated. Notified on 23rd November 1995 in the Goa Gazette. This definition has not been defined in the Act. One must understand in its ordinary dictionary meaning means away from the shore, typically in the sea. In other words, there must be a shore. There is no shore where the vessels are moored. The area where the vessels are moored is a running river and cannot be described as offshore, as there is no shore there too. In 2020, section 13B was introduced that gambling/games are not gaming in areas designated. In 2020, the government issued notification designating 5-star hotel and vessel. No area has been designated for a vessel. It must therefore be offshore and not in Mandovi. The government must explain to the people as to how the casino boats are allowed to be moored in the river and whether the moorings are moorings installed by the government or the captain of boats. No rules have been made till date. The Goa Gaming Act prohibits transfer of license and at the same time, subject to conditions and restrictions, permit transfer of a license in the name of one person to other person. There is no provision as I see it for replacing vessel with larger vessel under the Inland Sports Act. Even if a vessel can be replaced, the legal position, I am not aware, in brackets, it must be in terms of the same conditions of license of the vessel which is sought to be replaced and must now meet the anti-pollution measures both under the Inland Vessels Act and the Indian Ports Act. The government therefore must immediately disclose the original license given to the person presently running the vessel. If the government does not do so, the MLA of Panjim, who is a minister in the government, must disclose it to the people. Responsible governance is by a government, whether at a state level or a local body like a municipal corporation. They owe it to the people to protect their right to life. The government at a state level and the municipal corporation at a local level and the MLAs who represent the constituencies on the banks of the river Mandovi have equally failed the citizens. Gaming has its bad sides, resulting in moral degradation with several vices. It is high time that our religious leaders across all religions raise their voice against the sin industry. On behalf of the Enough is Enough movement, as removal of casinos from the Mandovi is one of the points in the charter, the movement extends its support to the Ponjekars against casinos. I also propose soon to write on the legal aspects to the government. Thank you very much, Justice Ferdinand Rebello. We are so grateful. Ponjekars and all the people around are very grateful. And I also have to say thank you to all the Ponjekars who have come, and not only Ponjekars, the people around Goa. If it's in Panjim, it affects everybody. Everyone comes to the city. So it's not affecting only Ponjekas. We want all the people of Goa to be a part of this movement. I would request all of y'all, I'm reading out the resolution, but before you all go, please put your signatures to that resolution.
Okay, so just a break. We have Justice Ferdinand Rebello's legal opinion, and there are.
I just have a question about the signature on the resolution. We need to get signatures from our village.
I will just brief you about that. So there are two things. As I said, there is a legal fight and there is a street fight. So as far as legal is concerned, we are checking all the powers of the department, the Home Department, the Minister of Ports, and to each we are asking them what they should do. Now, a delegation had met Mr. Digambar Kamath, who was Minister of Ports. Now, two things come under him. He said, I checked the seaworthiness of the vessels, and two, where the boats are located. So we have told him categorically that the casinos are now being replaced. Okay, earlier they said they cannot move. Now they have made enough money, 20 years, they have profited. Their boats should be seaworthy and they should be out of the river Mandovi. So this is one demand we have placed before Mr. Digambar Kamath. Second, we said that location comes under him. We said that a river has to be free flowing. You cannot have casinos parked in the river, and so you have to take a decision to move them out. Now, these are the two things we have put to him, and he said he will speak to the Chief Minister. Yes. So now, as far as the So as far as the Chief Minister is concerned, he is the Home Minister, and he is the issuing the Home Minister issues the license. Okay, so we all want to take our views. It's not like a delegation which is going. We want the people of Goa to voice their opinion that they do not want casinos, and therefore we are having a signature campaign, and we want to take these signatures to the Chief Minister. So we have asked Mr. Digambar Kamath to fix a meeting with the Chief Minister. So the resolution Patricia will read out, and if you agree, please sign the resolution and also take it to your villages, wherever you come from, and collect the signatures. Patricia? The legal aspect?
No, Mr. Tamankar would just like to talk a little bit on, because he's the person who went to the NGT because of this boat. Because of the information we got out of Mr. Tamankar's case and the Pollution Control Board report, which they were supposed to do because of his matter, he will just explain a little bit about his NGT case, and then I'll read out the resolution.
उलोवपाचें नासलें पूण तरी आसतना बोर्ड जी येता तेच्या बद्दल कोणी काय सांगूंक ना म्हणून ताका लागून मुद्दम उलयता हांगासर. हे प्रकरण जें आसा ही बोट हाडपाचें हे 2017तल्यान स्टार्ट जाल्लेलें गोंय राज्यांत. जी रॉयल फ्लोटेल आसा तेजो रिपोर्ट ती रिप्लेसमेंट करपाक 2017तल्यान प्रकरण स्टार्ट जालें, आनी त्या वेळाचेर डेल्टा प्लेजर क्रूज एंड कंपनी जी आसा प्रायवेट लिमिटेड हेंच्यांनी 98 रजिस्टर जाल्ले अमेरिकन एक वेसल थंयसर घेतलेले, आनी ते हाडपाचो प्रयत्न हांगासर जाल्लो रॉयल फ्लोटेलाक रिप्लेस करपाक. मागीर कोवीड येयले 2019 आनी तेच्या उपरांत त्या वेळेचे मिनिस्टर आसले तेंच्यांनी ते परमिशन रिजेक्ट केले ओल्ड वेसल म्हणून. तेका लागून मागीर 2000 कोविडा उपरांत 2022तल्यान तेंच्यांनी प्लेन 2019तल्यान प्लेन चेंज केलो, आनी 2019 2020 जे पहिले त्यांचे लेटर जे आसा हे गव्हर्नमेंटाक गेले. आता हे लेटर जे आसा डेल्टा प्लेजर क्रूज कंपनी प्रायव्हेट लिमिटेड ह्या लेटरान फक्त 2च लायनीचेर सरकाराक सारको आकर्षित केला. म्हणजे कितें म्हटला पयल्या लायनीन की स्कील इंडिया जो नरेंद्र मोदीचो नारो हा देशान, त्या स्कील इंडियाच्या प्रमाणे आमी सारखे उत्साहीत झाले, आमकां प्रोत्साहन मेळ्ळें आणि वोकल फॉर लोकल ह्या घोषणेचेर आमी स्वताहून ही आता न्यू वेसल बांदता आणि ते हांगासर उडपी हंगरकट्टा वॉटरवे शिपयार्ड NPVT लिमिटेड हंगरकट्टा उडपी हांगासर ते बांदप चालू केले 2023तल्यान. ते वेसल जे आसा हे आता तुम्ही हांगासर म्हणटा की आमी रेझोल्युशन घेवया, मिनिस्टराक म्हळ्या हे मेळ्या, ताचो काय फायदो ना. ऑलरेडी ताका सगळें परमिशन दिल्लें आसा. वेसल जे आसा त्या वेसलाक नाव दिल्ल्या डेल्टिन रॉयली ओ नंबर BNG 1008 नंबराचेर रजिस्ट्रेशन सुद्धा सगळें जाल्लें आसा. सगळे सर्वे रिपोर्ट जावपाक जाय ते सगळे ऑलरेडी जाल्ले आसा. हितून आनी रेझोल्युशन घेवन तर कांयच फायदो नाका. निमाणो आतां विरोध कॉन्क्रीट विरोध करपाची तयारी जावपाक जाय. आतां हांव ते कित्याक सांगता की हांगासर लिगल ग्राउंड्स खंयचे आमी घेतलेले की जेन्ना ते रेस मागू शकता तेन्ना आमचे कडेन सगळें इन्फॉर्मेशन आसलें आनी हांवूय ते आतां रावता सद्या. तेका लागून आमी हो विशय घेवन फुडें वयताना जेन्ना फायल नोटींग जर पळयलें जाल्यार कॅप्टन ऑफ पोर्ट्स तेन्ना जेम्स ब्रागान जाल्लो तेणें रिजेक्ट केल्लें परमिशन. कित्याक ते वेसल जे आहा 112 मिटराचे आनी तेची रुंदी जी आहा ती 28 मिटर रूंद आहा. तेका लागून 18/7/1996 कॅप्टन ऑफ पोर्ट्साचे सर्क्युलर आहा. त्या सर्क्युलराचे वायोलेशन जाता म्हणून कॅप्टन जेम्स ब्रागान जाल तेन्ना ते रिजेक्ट केल्लेले परमिशन. रेड्डी आसलो जो होम पोर्ट सेक्रेटरी आसलो त्या वेळाचेर तेणें रिजेक्ट केल्ले. पूण तेणें लास्टाक म्हटलेलें कितें CM मे लायक टू डिसायड. म्हणटकीर CMा कडेन जेन्ना फायल गेल्या तेन्ना खंयच्याच NIOचो एक ऑफिसर किंवा लिगल ऑफिसर एडवोकेट जनरलाचो ओपिनियन किंवा लॉ डिपार्टमेंटाचो ओपिनियन कोणाचोच कांयच घेनासतना CMान हे सगळे ओव्हररूल केले आनी ते फुडें ताका सगळी परमिशनां दिवपाचे डिसिजन ऑलरेडी सगळें जाल्लें आसा. सगळो प्रोसेस कंप्लीट जाल्लो आसा. ताका लागून हांव तुमचे कडेन मागता की ते तुमी परमिशनां मेळची ना किंवा आनी कितें रेझोल्युशन घेतले ते सगळे सायडीक दवरप. आयज सुद्दां इन डिटेल चीफ सेक्रेटरीक एक लेटर दिल्लें आसा. परत आमी NGTन ते फुडें प्लेस करपाक आनी त्या संदर्भान आमचें सगळें काम चालू आसा. तेन्ना हांव मागता तुमचे कडेन की ऑलरेडी सगळी परमिशनां इतली जाल्ली आसा तेन्ना तुमी कितें तो ठोस निर्णय घेवचो.
एक इन्फॉर्मेशन म्हणून गोल्डन ग्लोब हॉटेल हाज्या नांवान ही सगळी शिप्स हांगा मांडवीन हाडटा काय आनी ती रिपेराक म्हणून हाडल्या काय तांच्यांनी हे मातशें पळोवपाची गरज
ना. पळय कितें आसा न्हू तुमकां एक जाणा जावपाक सांगता. सगळ्यान पयलीं 2013 हांव बसवालो जावन म्हणून 2013 जेन्ना आमकां दिसलें की मांडवीन आतां 2 म्हयन्या सुद्दां पयलीं मांडवीचो टायम टू टायम सर्वे करून घेता लेटर करून पॉल्युशन कंट्रोल बोर्डाक आनी लेटस्ट सर्वे हा फेकल कॉलिफॉर्म ज्या इन्क्रीज जाता मांडवीन थंयसर वाडता. आतां ते कितें हायचेर तेचेर धुकलता. ते म्हणटा मांडवीन ते वटेन बोटी आहा नुस्त्याच्यो ते पॉल्युशन करता आनी कोण करता अशें. म्हणटकूच 2013 सगळ्यान पयल्यान NGTन पेटिशन फायल करून तेन्ना 4 कॅजिनो आसले मांडवीन आनी त्या वेळाचेर आमी स्टे घेतलेली. न्यू कॅजिनो अलाव करचे ना मांडवीन ती आमची अजून आसा स्टे आसा. पूण तरी आसतना हेंच्यांनी मागीर ते सगळे ओव्हररूल करून प्रकार मागीर थंयसर डायरेक्शन घेतलें आमी 2014तल्यान सगळें डायरेक्शन आहा की पयलीं वेस्ट सगळी सिवेज डिस्चार्ज जाताली मांडवीन सगळें प्रूव जाल्लें NGTन त्या वेळार आनी मागीर तांकां सगळे रेस्ट्रिक्शन घातल्या. तुमी समजनाका तितले सोंपें आहा म्हणून 5 जाणांची टीम अपॉयंट केल्ली आसा आनी ती 5 जाणांची टीम हर एक 4 म्हयन्यांनी इन्स्पेक्शन करता सगळ्या कॅजिनोंचे की कितली वेस्ट सिवेज डिस्चार्ज जाता मांडवीन कितलो वेस्ट हे जाता तो सगळो ते अभ्यास केलो वयता आनी ताजो रिपोर्ट जाता इन्स्पेक्शन रिपोर्ट तेची कॉपी एक आमकां येता आनी एक कॉपी NGTक वयता. पूण तरी आसतना गव्हर्मेंटाक जाय जाल्यार गव्हर्मेंट आनीक खूब सिरियसली तेचेर विचार करपाक शकता पूण तो करूंक सोदिना. कित्याक तो तुमकांय बरो खबर हांवें आनी ओपन सांगपाची गरज ना.
की डेल्टीन आता तो हाडून दवरला आमी जर हांगासून तो शिफ्ट करून सांगूया त्या हाडीक आमकां नाका जाल्यार तेजे पयलीं आमी स्टार्ट करूया ते व्हडले हाडून सोडचे ना.
तर 2000 तुम्ही आता कोणी सांगलेले 2000 कॅपॅसिटी 120 कोटी किंमत 120 कोटी आणि 100 रुपयाच्या इंडॅमिनिटी बॉन्डार 100 रुपयाच्या स्टॅम्प पेपराचेर इंडॅमिनिटी बॉन्ड दिला की आपण मांडवीन कसलेच पोल्युशन बी करचो ना 100 रुपया किंमत.
देव बरें करूं. कामनकर बाब आमकां हे सगळे इन्फॉर्मेशन जे तुमी दिता ते आमी घेवन चर्चा करतली लिगल ओपिनियन घेतली आणि फुडें वयतली कित्याक हाका टायम लागतलो. ओके पूण जे रेजोल्यूशन सगळ्यांक मान्य आसा कित्याक ते व्हॉट्सएप ग्रुपाचेर घातलेले आमी तुमच्या मुखार मांडटा आणि मागीर तुमकां तर मान्य आसा जाल्यार तुमी पास करचे.
I'll just read the resolution because it is the people of Panjim who should say we want, we don't want, whatever it is. Our fight will go on, we know that. Thank you, Mr. Tamankar has done a fabulous job and he's been doing it along. And we'll take his advice as we go along because he's so deep into this issue. We are just learning that casino is coming. He knows much more than anyone else knows on it. So really we thank him very much. I'll read the resolution. It's just 4 points, and before you all go, as you all go, I think it's out there. You can sign it. Some of the copies will be given to those who can take signatures and get it back to us. At least let the government know that there's not just 3 people or 4 people fighting this issue. There are lots more, and you all are all with us. We, the citizens of Panjim, supported by the rest of Goa, demand that 1. The government of India immediately stop the entry of the 112-meter long, 30-meter high Delton casino vessel in the Mandovi River or anywhere in Goa. The government of Goa stop dredging the river. It's going on at the moment and carrying out other works in the river to accommodate such mega casino vessels as they are destroying the fragile marine ecosystem and the traditional livelihoods of our fisher folk. They are really suffering and we are also suffering because our fish is bad. The government of Goa stopped promoting our state as a destination for gambling and our heritage capital city as a sin city, and implement a time-bound plan to remove casinos from the river Mandovi and from Goa. The government of Goa provide a rehabilitation package for Goans employed on the casinos, as well as implement alternate revenue models for local businesses currently catering to casino tourists by promoting Goa as family tourism destination. Thank you. Please sign these letters because we need to take this resolution to the Chief Minister of Goa.
What about the street fight?
Oh yeah, we have to continue. I said our fight goes on and on. I think it's very important that we fight. We may win, we may lose, but I think we are not going to lose. But if we don't fight, then we have lost. So let us all fight together.
Repeal the amendments also.
Yeah. Okay, there are other issues that were raised, but we will raise it subsequently. One about all the advertisement of casinos in the city, we have to get it removed. So, but these are issues which are coming up. We will call a meeting, and as far as the street fight is concerned, unless we mobilize people, we can't have street fight. So the signature campaign is to mobilize people, make them aware, so that when we give a call, everybody participates. Thank you. देव बरें करूं. तुम्ही सगळीं हांगा आयली. आवाज